Sorry, so that last video cut out because I ran out of batteries, storage space on my phone. So I just deleted a bunch of old stuff. So this guy, even though we're not starting with a parent, this is like a given function that we're going to modify using this. Think of it like a command. So anytime x is replaced with something else, that's a horizontal transformation. So here x has become negative x, okay? So that's going to look like a reflection in the y-axis. So stuff in quadrant 1 goes to quadrant 2, and stuff in quadrant 2 goes to quadrant 1, for example. And this -9 here is modifying the function, not the input, so that's a down 9. So that's what those transformations are going to do. But to actually write the function, I need to make those happen. So my g of x function is going to be, instead of x being cubed, it's negative x, because again, this says replace x with negative x cubed plus 8. And then this existing function, I'm going to subtract 9 from. And now I just have to clean that up. So I want to simplify this if possible. So negative x to the third power is going to retain its negativity. So negative x cubed, in other words, this doesn't matter, plus 8 minus 9 simplifies to be -1. And that is g of x. And then over here, very similar. So this is our given function. This basically is just one transformation. That's a vertical stretch by 5. Okay, and that says take your function, multiply it by 5. So to get g of x, I need to take the whole function, 2x to the 5th minus x cubed plus 1, and multiply all of it by 5. And I'm just going to clean that up through distribution. And that's it. So if you think about it, this was shifted up 1, I stretched it by 5, now it's shifted up 5. That makes sense. So for this one, it was hard to kind of fit the entire question in the frame, so I just copied it down here, or at least the key pieces. So we have this function. We're going to write a rule for g, which looks like this graph, but translated 1 left, reflected in the x-axis, and vertically stretched by 2. So we are going to write that function, that g of x. So in order to do 1 unit left, my x is replaced with x plus 1. In order to reflect in the x-axis, my entire function becomes negated. And then a vertical stretch by 2, my entire function gets multiplied by 2. And I should be careful because these aren't all happening simultaneously. This is happening first, then this, then this. So I want to take my f of x function, and I want to make sure that I apply these steps in the order in which they're given. So the very first thing I'm going to do is replace x with x plus 1. So I have x plus 1 quantity cubed minus 6 times x plus 1 quantity squared plus 5. Now I'm going to reflect in the x-axis by multiplying the entire function by a negative. And then I'm going to vertically stretch by 2. Now these could have happened simultaneously. So I essentially have all of this multiplied by -2. And when I distribute that through, I'm not actually going to, sort of raise all these powers. I'm just going to look at 1, 2, 3 terms and multiply them all by -2. So that's going to be -2, x plus 1 quantity cubed, and then -2 times -6 is plus 12, x plus 1 quantity squared, and -2 times plus 5 is going to be -10. And that is my g of x function. And I'm not really going to ask you guys to distribute that all through and get it in standard form. I'm totally fine with the way it's written now.